All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions. We're continuing our WCW Clash of the Champions series. Gonna be Clash of the Champions 6, Ragin Cajun. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Man, let's get into it. There's a lot to cover here. Due to time restraints, they didn't air all the matches that they wanted to. They did air them later on to show people what they missed. There was two dark matches after the main event, and then there was three matches in the middle of the card that they had to skip over because of the main event. We'll get into those results here in a second. April 2nd, 1989, New Orleans, Louisiana, roughly 5,300 on hand at the Superdome. That seems pretty low for the Superdome, but it's only a Clash. It's not a pay-per-view.
No, it is, and I mean, they basically botched it. They did it the same day as WrestleMania to try to compete with WrestleMania.
Yeah, that didn't work.
They booked a huge venue. They couldn't sell it. Apparently, they gave away like 3,000 tickets. So most of them
And, and the
weren't even
rating
paid
was
for.
down from the last one.
Huh. Yeah, so it was
Probably
kind
mainly
of a
due to WrestleMania.
yeah. It's interesting though. This is like I guess this is the first Clash I think that's actually WCW. Because if you watch in the beginning, the opening credits, it says WCW this time. It didn't say. I don't think it said WCW before. So now it's officially like as far as Clash is concerned, it's WCW.
Yeah, and the stink fest of some of these matches in 1989 kickoff. I have mentioned in the past that 1989 they had a plethora of tag teams. The tag team division was hot. Some of them were kind of like out there, the ding dongs and all that garbage that they tried to pull later on in '89. But 1989 started out hot. Ricky Steamboat became the world champion at the Chi-Town Rumble, so he gives Ric Flair the rematch tonight on the Clash. Little discrepancy in that. We'll cover that in a little bit. Opening match on the card was the Midnight Express versus the Samoan SWAT team. This was a really good match.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Like I said, tag team division was red hot in 1989, and all of a sudden, at the end of '89 into '90, it just all fell apart. But this was a good match. Still the rivalry between Jim Cornette and Paulie Dangerously. They get involved in this match as well. It ran a little long for my taste, but I mean, I guess it's justified because of the rivalry. They both teams, going back and forth on each other. Most of the opening period of the match, the Samoan SWAT team were just getting handled by the Midnight Express. They kept hitting each other. And of course, Paulie's giving Fatu the phone. He's talking to somebody. I have no idea. That phone would play a big role into this match. He got involved by tripping Stan Lane dangerously did, and then Cornette countered by hitting Fatu with the racket. So if you're going to take my guy, I'm going to take your guy
Yep.
out. Then they wind up going at it as the match was ending, which was great. Midnight Express did hit the rocket launcher, their finishing move on Samu. However, the referee, the minute the move was done, he's distracted by telling Stan Lane, to get out of the ring. That enables Fatu to hit Bobby Eaton with the phone, and Samu gets the cover, and the Samoan SWAT team do get the victory over the Midnight Express. So, but all in all, great opening match
Good
they
opening
had
match.
here.
I just like how they kept advertising. This is we're gonna have 5 title matches tonight. 5 title matches, and like we didn't see 5 title
You know what
matches.
they really should have done? They should have just aired the 5 title matches and put that in there. Because I was curious because the main event went literally almost an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and the Clash went a little over 2 hours. I'm like, how are they going to fit this all in? Well, now I figured it out.
Right, yeah.
So,
That's
so the next match on the card was Stephen Casey versus the Great Muta. He goes through his little skit at the beginning, and then opens the match with hitting Casey with the mist, which I'm surprised the referee didn't call for an instant disqualification, considering he saw it.
Mhm.
But whatever. The undefeated Muta still put his dominance into this match. Casey barely got any offense off on him. Muta is going to be a big deal in 1989.
Mhm.
And I love that backflip he did off the top rope to finish off
He
Casey.
almost
One,
killed
two,
himself.
three.
He almost hit his head on the mat.
Yeah. He luckily at the last minute he kind of gets his hands in there, but yeah, he's pretty close to the mat, hurting himself. But Muta's known for the crazy stunts and all
Mhm.
that stuff. He even did it on the outside with the handstand flip
Yeah.
elbow into the barrier. So I mean, he's proving his dominance, and he's going to go after Sting in 1989, and he's going to beat him. But I was really hoping Muta stuck around a while in NWA WCW because he could have been a real big thing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But anyway, he gets the victory here, and Gary Hart's happy. Next match on the card, I kind of liked. It was the Junkyard Dog versus the Natural Butch Reed. JYD is seasoned and kind of a step slower now, unfortunately. Still very entertaining. He's in his town in New Orleans. He comes out with his Mardi Gras buddies. I love that.
That was a good
entrance. I love the culture they brought to it. And here comes Butch Reed with Masuda as his manager. And these guys went back and forth. And, Reed is still in his prime here. But like I said, JYD's lost a step or two, but still very entertaining. This is his second run back in the NWA. So, the match was pretty good. Matsuda gets involved by choking JYD during the match. Of course, he's going to do it. This is what Matsuda does. It was interesting how it finished. Matsuda's up on the apron. JYD throws Butch Reed into him. And then, I don't know if you caught this, but JYD kind of falls to the floor and then kind of rolls over and puts his hand over for the cover. So the ending was a little off, but the match itself was okay. JYD gets the victory. But like I said, he's lost a step or two, but the fans don't care. They love this guy. I love this guy. He's a great entertainer. So this is where now they advertised the next match was going to be Bob Orton versus Dick Murdoch, and they went straight. They skipped over 3 matches to go to the U.S. tag title matches. Now, the ones they skipped was Bob Orton defeating Dick Murdoch in literally 33 seconds, squash match. For the NWA tag team titles, Mike Rotunda and Steve Williams defeated the Road Warriors, thanks in a large part to Teddy Long pretty much no longer wanting to be a referee. This is where he becomes a manager after this. He screwed the Road Warriors by not counting the 3 for them, and when Williams was on top, he counted the fast 3, and they kept the tag titles. So now Teddy Long is into the managerial business. And if you mess with him, you'll go one-on-one back with The Undertaker or Mark Calloway back then. Always loved that. And then the last match, which we really didn't need to see, was Ranger Ross beating the Iron Sheik by disqualification. Again, that match didn't matter, but the Road Warriors match, I would have liked to see.
Definitely. It was a big match.
So the next match then that they aired was for the NWA United States Tag Team Titles. The first family of Eddie Gilbert and Rick Steiner defending against the Varsity Club, Dan Spivey and Kevin Sullivan. This was a short match, but it was pretty good. A lot of action in this match. Missy Hyatt is the first family manager. Again, very interesting match. The only thing was, I think the wrong guys got the cover because I believe it was Rick Steiner and Dan Spivey that were the legal men of the ring. And it winds up being Eddie Gilbert rolling up Sullivan after he hits him with Missy Hyatt's purse. A little bit of a sensational Sherry thing going on here with the purse. Hits Sullivan with it, rolls him up in the small package, and Gilbert and Steiner keep the United States Tag Team Championships over the Varsity Club. So now this is where the main event came. And it was a shame they didn't do this on a pay-per-view, but it was a build-up to Wrestle War, which was the next one a month later. In a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NWA Championship, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in a rematch defending against the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Terry Funk doing commentary on this one. Again, he's going to play a role in 1989 as well.
Steamboat had just won the NWA title, which was nice.
At Chi-Town Rumble, yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to see him get a chance at the main belt.
Oh yeah,
because in WWF he was never really going to get that chance, unfortunately. So
not even in his second run.
Yeah. So
it's a shame after he won the Intercontinental title and he rivaled the main event as being one of the best matches on the card that once his run was over, he didn't get a shot.
He was there at the wrong time. Had he been there in the time with Brett and Sean and those guys, he would have been a world champion. He was just there there in the Hulkamania
early to mid '90s. Yeah. I think he would have had his shot because remember after he left in '91 and went back to WCW, they really didn't do anything with him other than the U.S. title. And that awesome match with Rick Rude, but he never really. Once or twice, maybe he got a title shot if he was lucky, but I mean, they really didn't do anything with him. Tag titles and single belt, that was it for him. But this match had a 1-hour time limit, and man, this was in my opinion, I'm sure it was the match of the year in 1989. 55-minute match, 2 out of 3 falls. These guys laid it all out there, And the first fall literally wasn't until just about the 20-minute mark
Hmm.
when Ric Flair reversed an inside cradle on Steamboat and went up 1-zip already. So
Hmm.
now, like Terry Funk said in commentary, if Flair gets the first fall, technically he's the champion right now because he has the champion's edge. So, but that's not going to last too long. About 15 minutes later, Flair submitted to a double chicken wing that
You're double
Steamboat
checking,
said that
yeah.
he was working on. So now we're tied 1-1. And Flair, Steamboat even said it later on that this was something that he was working on that he wanted to utilize on Flair. He even tried it again, but the second time it didn't work.
Was there a time limit on this initially?
One
Did they even
hour.
say it was a 1 hour? Okay.
Yeah, they would when the last fall happened. I think they had about 4 minutes and change
Somewhat, yeah.
left because at the 55-minute 50-second part of the match, um, Flair fell on top of Steamboat, but both men were
Well, he had
down.
him in the chicken wing. He had him in the
Yeah.
double chicken wing again. His knee gave out because Flair had been working on the leg.
Oh, all match he was working on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And then he fell back onto
He was
him.
even dragging it to
Yeah.
sell it, and
Hmm.
Flair got the figure four on him. I was shocked that Steamboat didn't submit. He
Hmm.
got to the rope, but when he fell down on him, Steamboat kind of had his shoulder up, but at the
Yeah.
same time, the
It looked
ref
like he
did
was getting
not. Uh,
it looked like he was getting pinned too.
I think it looked like a draw, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he got it up a little bit, but Flair's also
But
looked
it
like it
looked
was up
so yeah,
too.
it just looked like it was a double pin. I don't know. But he
Yeah,
got his leg underneath the rope, but
hmm
the referee doesn't see it.
so that's going to be the discrepancy that forces the third and final
Yeah,
match
because
at Wrestle
Steamboat
War.
wins because Steamboat gets the pinfall victory, even though this Flair's complaining to the referee after that. My leg was under the rope, but what's done is done.
Exactly. He counted the three. Referee's decision is final. Steamboat retains the title. Jim Ross interviewed him afterwards. Steamboat expected the lawyers and everything else to
Yeah.
happen. He said, "Bring it on." And like I said, at Wrestle War, these two would fight again. It's just a shame that Steamboat's reign was short.
Yeah.
This felt like a Triple H thing later on, where he loses the title and automatically, I got to get the
Mhm.
shot. I lose. I got to get the shot again. It's
It's
mine. It's mine. It's mine.
yeah.
I just I would have liked to see Steamboat gone a little longer with it, and at least if anything, get it again because man, he was a good champion, and his match with Flair were just tremendous. All three of those matches, Wrestle War, Chinatown Rumble, and this one were great. This was the best one, despite the fact that it ended with
Controversy.
questionable,
Yeah.
exactly questionable
Controversy.
legality here.
Yeah.
But
Well,
overall, the clash was pretty good.
yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, unfortunately, it's like that match takes up, half of the half of the damn
After
the
the
show
event,
that we got, the show that we get to see, obviously. I guess our
and
live crowd got to see everything.
because after that match, Sting had his first title defense for the television championship. He defeated Rip Morgan by submission. And of course, Lex Luger defending the United States title, defeating Jack Victory. Not really rock solid matches, but with the five title matches, I would have liked to see
Hmm.
the five title matches on the
Right,
Clash.
right, would have been nice, but
Because Clash of the
perfect world.
Champions,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
perfect
but
world.
exactly. But not taking away. I mean, the main event was
Hmm.
justified.
Great
They needed
story,
to do this.
great match. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. All right, well, that's a review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.